Excuse me. Um, Hello everyone, Flux Valenti here. Geez, that's um, um, uh, let's um, let's stay off that for a little bit. And anyway, so yeah, I decided to get a BGM, which is something I reused from the Valentine's Day stream, but it fits, it fits. So, something I wanted to talk about is I don't know how to like start this conversation because I don't have a script. But a few days ago, well, around last week, let me check which day it actually was because I started spurting about it. Um, excuse me. I started like something, I don't know, like excuse me. For some reason, one day my dad decided to put this on. I'm trying to exactly get which day it was. Hold on. For like what is it? Yeah, like a week ago, basically a week ago, my dad put on this movie for some reason. It was just my dad and I at home. I don't know why he decided to put this on because like I remember seeing trailers of this thing of this movie, and I was basically like, "Yeah, this sounds cringe. This sounds weird. It's like it's not like I didn't think it would be my thing." And then for some damn reason, excuse me, Dad decides to just throw this on, you know, and and suddenly we're watching this. And is music too loud? Hold on. I'm gonna be real quick about this. Oh, that's for later. That's also for later. um, but yeah, this was like it was I was flip flopping between hate, like absolute hatred, like this is cringe, this is I hate this, this is I can't stand this movie, to oh excuse me, that I have too many tabs. Please excuse me. Anyway, this is I'm fumbling right now, but man, it okay. Thoughts. Starts off, it's about this like washed up Stacy who gets hired to seduce a neat in order to get a car because she doesn't have a car. And she doesn't have a car, and she has to keep her home, so she just takes this job. Just like played by Jennifer Lawrence. I don't like. Do I like Jennifer Lawrence as a person? No, but do I think she's absolutely beautiful in this movie? Yes, I will give her that, and that works. I want to get that out of the way. That absolutely works because, like, she was basically the only thing keeping my eyes on the screen. Because it starts off, and she started to screw him in order to like apparently because all the like this whole stereotype. Oh, the parents don't like their son being a neat, and they want him to lose his virginity so he can not be a neat anymore. Like that's gonna solve anything. Like that's gonna oh well because they're rich and because doing that will get him out of the house and whatever. But well, the depiction of like being a neat is incredibly it was like like I'm a neat in real life. I'm a neat right now, and it's even I think his like maybe it's the point. Maybe like that's the point of his performance to be pathetic. So and like I'm a neat in real life. I don't have as much prospects as him, but I'm not this much of a damn weenie as it like as the male lead of this movie. There was funny. It did get the funny sometimes, but in the beginning. but overall, it was just cringe until a specific scene where it's on the beach. They're like, it's rated R. They they do rated R things on the beach. Well, no, they preclude rated R things on the beach where it's like there's and I think the moment when I decided, yeah, you know what, fuck it, I'll finish the movie, is when I saw naked Jennifer Lawrence beating the shit out of like teenagers, and I thought that was, yeah, you know what, this movie's like, you know, I'm gonna see where this ride goes, and I still have problem like it wasn't as bad like I love hate this. Again, I like 90 like 80 70% of the movie is cringe. 30% is Jennifer Lawrence being sexy, and that's enough for me to like, you know what, that's some redeeming qualities, I'll give it that. And let's see, let's check chat. Oh, hold on. Oh, there's two people watching. Oh man. Anyway, so this was, yeah, yeah. Spoilers for the movie. Yeah. Another funny part was like he she gets pepper sprayed, and and that was that got a chuckle out of me. That was a fun scene. But overall, like I became way more attached to this movie. Like I guess it's just like her; she gets more attached to him than she wants to. I got more attached to this movie than I wanted to, but I had so many problems with it that like I came up with a script, like with a pitch on my own. That comes later. That comes later. But that gave me the inspiration to think like this, like the romance genre of movies isn't really, it's definitely 100% not geared towards men, not geared towards a male audience. Romance and like the only like mainstream romance media that you see are are like are anime, are like the wholesome stuff that you always see, like communicate, communicate, don't mess with me, Miss Nagatoro. Nagatoro. Nagatoro's I read Nagatoro. It's actually, that's one of the few mangas I decided to read. I read it online, and it was actually really good. It's good for what it is, and unironically, it's good. But outside of anime, especially in terms of the West, you don't see romance media geared towards a male audience. You never see that. What you can get is either like, I guess, this genre of sex comedy, which is as it is, like this is a, like, I guess this is just like a Wikipedia article review stream, hold on, of, and like admittedly they do have a point. You need like sex sells, and you need sex to get male attention, and it works on me, it 100% works on me, but in the ways that this is like, and it doesn't necessarily fall into like the realm of what I would consider romance for men, although I would argue this movie does count as like romance that could work for a male audience simply because of Jennifer Lawrence and her doing that. And something I did notice, besides like, oh, she's hot, she's sexy, she's doing all these things, she's naked, was the inherent GFE elements of this, of, because she's hard to seduce him, and she goes through this whole thing where she leads him through, just she takes him on dates, she leads him through life, and it's and that part, like, besides me getting like interested or earlier, that kept me going, and I'm and that's part of the reason why I ended up liking this movie more than it was. It's this like washed up Stacy walks this neat virgin through life and teaches him to like both of them appreciate legitimate romance for once. And is all GFE technically it is technically GFE or BFE is romance media inherently, but it doesn't make it. But it doesn't. I'm rambling again. It's the plot of it. Like plots depend. It could be gratuitous. It could be just basically a non-pornographic version of porn, and a lot of and I would not and I would 100% definitely not call all porn, or at least like 90% of porn, as romance media, even if it is sexual and geared towards men, of course, because it's porn, you know. But it's geez, I'm not gonna read that. That might. I just realized Wikipedia is a potentially NSFW site. So, well, we're gonna, because hold on, American sex comedy. Yeah, this is film historian Tamara Jeffers McDonald highlights the period 1953 to 1965 as an era claims that 1953 was a key year. The producers of the film Moon is Blue challenged the motion picture production code rules against the word version. Hugh Hefner introduced Playboy magazine and all that, which is its own realm of controversy. But whatever, we're past that now. And it's let's not. But like then again, I've heard about this movie. I haven't watched it. I haven't seen it. But I would consider elements of this to be romance geared towards men, at least how men, like from a male perspective, how men would go about seeing, like how romance stories would play out from a male perspective. And British sex comedy is different. But going back to this, it was another scene that captured me, like was besides the whole beach scene that made me decide, you know what, maybe I will go ahead and watch this. There were genuine serious good moments in this, but I appreciated. And one aspect of it, going back to GFE, is this scene where like they're in a limo, they're going out to this like fancy restaurant, and he's just lying in her lap, and it's nice. It gets you. You want that. Most of the time, like this guy was a very poor, like despite like the protagonist and myself in real life sharing different, like much different personalities and much different outlooks. I think that was one of the few times in the movie I went, yeah, I want that to be literally me. All the date scenes and the scenes Jennifer Lawrence was making me go, yeah, I want that to be literally me. But that was like, even with all the sex stuff, that was probably like the best interaction they had. Where it's just like they're in a limo, they're driving to this fancy restaurant, and he's just, I think driving out of it from it or something, and his head's just in her lap, and that struck me for a good few seconds. And I went, man, I'm lonely, man. I want that. I want a hot Stacy to cuddle my head in her lap. But and going back to GFE, because of course my mother being, of course, a woman, she is very much into the romance genre. And something my dad always puts on for her and for me to watch as well is Pretty Woman. We all know the story. Like if you're familiar somewhat with the story of it, a lot of it is gratuitous. Like it is again from the female perspective, but there were like a few scenes in. Hold on, let me pull it up. There were like a few scenes in this where like she's she's a hooker, he's like or he's a corpo guy, and he hasn't experienced any attachment in a while, and a lot of it is I wouldn't necessarily call this from the male perspective, but it does honor potential male audience members in the way that it conducts a lot of their interactions. In the morning after they do the kith. In the morning after, there's another scene that I really like when watching this, and a lot. Well, even before it was a lot of just like, yeah, she's there to fuck him. But a lot of it was lead up to it was what I would consider GFE, or man, I want to be this guy. I wish I had a I wish I like had companionship. Where she's like waking him up in the morning after they do that. She's tying her tie for him, and it's all nice. It's all really, it's all like helping him out when he's down because he's depressed, he's lonely, and a lot of, I guess, single men like myself can relate to that. And we wish we had a companion to do that, to just be with us and help us out through life. I don't know what I'm going on, but that's something I constantly thought of. And I guess, and the other overlooked part of romance from a male perspective is, well, I'm not going to pull it up. I don't think I could pull it up. But search up any vanilla doujinshi, and you basically have that. You have something. Look up any male doujinshi. Well, any, I mean, male doujinshi. Well, any vanilla doujinshi. It's typically going to be somewhat sexual. Is definitely it's going to be sexual. It's going to be from like a male perspective, and there's value in that. There's value in the vanilla. There's value in all of that stuff, and while it is primary like the stuff that like anti dojins are like mainly for pornographic content. A lot of them, and well, like a lot of people who have read a lot more doujinshi than I have. I haven't read too many. I would say like a lot of that is legit. I would consider romance from a male perspective, especially the more serious, emotionally geared ones that really that really goes in that direction. That what I wanted to say. Now, relating to this movie, there was something I noticed, yeah, because and why I specifically mention hags a lot throughout throughout a lot of my lead up to this stream, a lot of my lead up to what was happening. And hold on, I have to take a sip of water. My mouth is very dry. Because like at the time of the within this movie, he's 19. I'm 20 in real life, and she's 32. Definitely hag territory. Definitely hag territory for Jennifer Lawrence's character, and they got me. And like part of my gripes with this movie was, besides this, like I had gripes with not only how they like perceived how it portrayed neats and like single young men, but also the Zoomers as well, because of its depiction of a Zoomer party gone soft. And I was slightly like yeah, elements of this are accurate. Like there's kids like not even interacting with each other. They're on VR, they're playing video, they're on TikTok or whatever. There's well, of course they're not gonna fuck each other because there's parents there. They're not gonna do that. It's not gonna happen. And she gets and like her character gets mad because of it, because it's not like the college parties or high school parties she was at. And I was like, bro, what the hell do you expect? Whatever. It's a scene. It was a big scene, but it was a scene that I did not like. Maybe it was meant to inspire that reaction out of me, but whatever. Okay. But she's a hag. He is not a wizard yet. Like he's a virgin, but he's not a wizard yet. And something I that was brought up was I was scrolling on Twitter, I can't find the post, but someone mentioned there's a lot of there are more than a few romance movies like for hags for women over 30 that seems to be coming that seems to be coming out, and there was much protest against it. Well, on my end I'm like, well, hag love, hag sex. Oh, the perfect idiot that what sentence was a perfect idiot? Also, mein God, how many tabs is that? My brother in Christ, there is more. I am in competition with Kirsha for the most number of tags in this like that I just keep open. But a lot of these are relevant to this. I swear, all of these ignore the ones where I'm searching up guns. A lot of these are in fact. But yeah, there's someone on Twitter brought up that there's a lot of there seems to be, at least between this and this one, which I do not like. I don't like this is different because this is like this would make me just cringe all throughout. But I saw a trailer for this on Twitter, and specifically someone pointing out this like, yeah, a 40-year-old single mom who had her ex-husband's request takes her teenage daughter to Coachella, strikes up a budding romance with a 24-year-old lead singer of a boy band. And that's this is just I'm very paranoid about my RAM. I keep like 5 tabs max. I should do that. I need to get rid of a lot of my tabs. At least, unlike Kirsha, I am interested in cutting them down. But like, I saw the trailer for this on Twitter, and someone specifically called it hag cope, or like 30-year-old dried up woman cope. And I would, as much as I as much as much enjoyment I derived from this was subtract a few years and this relationship is illegal. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. And again, if someone did point out, let me see that, like, someone around here, if this was like as icky, and the film constantly addresses it by seeing Maddie as confronted by the generational gap between her and Percy's peers, for No Hard Feelings, between the Jennifer Lawrence movie. She was, again, like, because he is like 18 or 19 in this movie. His 19-year-old son Percy, because this is, everyone points out that if the genders were flipped, this wouldn't be socially acceptable. And again, yeah, it wouldn't be socially acceptable, but my argument, well, it's not exactly an argument as much as me just pointing it out. Like, those relationships happen all the time, but when the genders are flipped between this is a rarity. This is considered like a prize for men my age. For like, if the genders are flipped, this happens constantly, especially in, ironically, Hollywood itself. You constantly see like 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old actors going out with like barely teens, or like women in their 20s. Like, Leo DiCaprio is a prominent example, which is why, despite how, like, I appreciate he's a good actor, but that's why I kind of don't trust the guy. If the genders were flipped, the title would be Sugar Daddy Simulator. Yeah, exactly, because it happens all the time in real life. Half, like, the Instagram e-thoughts and like Twitter e-thoughts that are aiming for this gender flipped relationship. And again, like, and this, I would agree, this is hag cope. This is hag cope. I don't care for this. This is just hagsploitation for the hags. But this is the good type of hagsploitation. This is a category I would put in a lot of anime with hot older women, and a lot of games with hot older women. This is the wrong kind of hagsploitation that me think is bad. And overall, it was like, I caught elements of this, and I thought it was cringe. Oh, it's like, it's an older woman pining for a younger man, and it's a constant thing of that. But they always aim for like big chads in their 20s. They don't aim for, like, in their mid 20s. They don't aim for like literal, like, college freshmen or college sophomores or straight out of high school thing. And admittedly, yeah, while this would be weird, while this is weird, again, I would, like, a lot of men my age, including myself, consider this sort of thing to be a prize, to be a fantasy to be lived up to. And speaking of fantasies to be lived up to, there's something I wanted to talk about, and it's that another realm of fiction that I commonly see, another realm of like, which is, of course, 4chan stories. this is also like, which is also what I would consider. Oh, like if you want raw, like raw, unfiltered, just horny man thoughts, go to 4chan, seek one of these up, and you know what? These are accurate. These are fiction. These are more than likely fiction and cope, and include it includes me. I cope like this. I constantly cope like this. But there's yeah, 4chan chill. It's turning into another React stream, but let's fire it up anyway. That's just MILF and stuff if it wasn't on a certain website. Yes, that is very true. But I love hags. I love MILFs. I wanna but that's the appeal. That is the enduring appeal. You want like it's not it's the experience. It's like it's her body's a bit more mature, her face is a bit more mature, and you feel like you're unique for appreciating that because all these like all the manhos don't want and can either aim lower or don't want her anymore, and that leaves you and on to swoop in and take and catch the hag and and my Oshi Bro Limes love hags segment. But this was like a Touchstar Femcel finally gets some. This is I have my reservations about this because like there are a few that I think are written by women, but this is probably just cope. But it's fine cope. This is fine
Too much
cope.
autism. Be me,
Maybe
raging femcel. Living in my mom's.
maybe this is the wrong one that I was looking for. I was looking for I was looking for the one where she's like working at a department store and she smells bad, and like when I read that, when I saw that one, when I saw this like thing, my mind instantly went to, is this Pippa, at her old job? And I was thinking of Pippa then.
Garage because free rent. Work at
Work
mall.
at mall.
Crappy job sadness. Regular
Oh yeah, this
customer
is the one, this is the Pippa
at the
one.
mall. You call
This is
cheap.
the one I was looking
Says he
for.
likes my hair. Laugh.mp3. Explain that I haven't
Have
washed
it
it in a while.
was
And
probably
it's probably really gross.
this is why Pippa came to mind.
Stupid, stupid autism. He laughs. Success.smile.
This is written from the perspective of someone who wants a touch-starved, dirty femcel, and I completely understand. This is us just pining. This is pining from the heart, and someone.
He suddenly looks really nervous.
I'll
Freeze.
save that for later because
He
I'm gonna
awkwardly
talk about that
asks
in a
if
bit.
he can smell it. Freak. Freaking soaked instantly.
Again, this is cope. This did not happen in real life. This was not written by a woman. Because everyone knows, yeah, like, unless it was Pippa. And then, no, everyone knows Pippa. This isn't what Pippa wants.
He puts his arms around me briefly and smells it. Says it smells nice.
That doesn't
My
happen.
face Lynn. Gives me his number. He stays and chats with coworkers for a minute. He leaves. Fear crying on the inside.mp3. What do I do? Text him? I'm so scared. What the F do I do? Do I text G?
It doesn't always add up. It doesn't, I'm not sure if that's, I'm not sure if, um, I'm not sure if this exchange of events truly happened, and I have my severe doubts. And this is another one that that this was it's more straightforward, where it's written from the perspective of a guy
All of her friends are blind.
dating a blind
Love that
girl.
she holds my arm when we're out.
This guy just played Katawa Shoujo. He saw Lily, and he went, man, I need that in my life, and I fully understand. I fully understand.
Love that she eventually got used to my apartment and can now navigate around herself. Love that her guide dog is super friendly and is always on the job to help her. Love that her family sees me as a great person because her being blind doesn't bother me. Love that she doesn't use the internet because it's too much of a hassle.
Yeah, this is like it could be real, it could be not. Like everything, all signs lean towards this being. It's not
Love that she
there.
requests that I read new books for her in my voice and record them so she has her own boyfriend audiobook library.
Again, this feels like cope. This feels very much
Why
like
haven't
cope.
you taken the blind pill and on?
Yeah, it's there are those elements, and again, you have to seriously question if is this real, and we're pretty sure it's not. Oh, oh crap. Oh, okay. The screen went black for a minute, and I got scared. Oh, this one's a long one. I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen this one before.
Time when I went to my first prom. Parents forced me to go because I needed to socialize.
I th- this looks familiar. This looks familiar. This image specifically. Oh, damn it.
10 times more
Free old spice ad.
Went anyway. Stood in the corner most of the time alone. Decided to walk outside of the building because nothing better going on anyway. Night was clear, moon was full, it was beautiful and quiet. Someone else standing out there enjoying the night. She burst out into laughter, which struck me as awe.
Yeah, this is. How much? Just shut up. Just shut up and
She's
watch the whole thing.
always seemed the aloof type. We sort of glanced at each other for a moment. Later, we eventually gathered up the courage to talk. Basically guessed that I did not come here out of my own volition. Said that they were superficial and relationships formed around them are good as New Year's resolutions, which is why she was outside. Pixie haircut and your usual edgy attire hoodie and baggy pants. Sort of clicked from there. Decided to leave the place and walk. Eventually, we went to a nearby creek just down the hill, sitting on the bedside throwing rocks into it, having discussions about future, plans, hobbies, and interests. This place is our new meeting grounds for every Saturday now. Fast forward, working on project of building a catapult near the creek, she turns to me and wishes that she could keep in contact. No phone number, no social media, exchange Steam accounts, no games bot or friends, basically uses it to find games to pirate, practically a ghost online. End up playing Terraria and Minecraft, building an entire world. Fast forward now, 21. She wants things to be more than friends. It's been 5 years. Maybe I should thank my parents for forcing me to go after all.
Oh yeah. And this could be real. And it's a common joke on a lot of boards. I think I heard it from Kirsha herself, ironically, that every green text you see, unless proof is provided, every green text you see is a work of fiction. I'll say that a lot. I keep saying, no, this is fake. Oh, this is fake, and it is. But this is how we think. Like even when sex isn't involved, we like there's this whole discussion about, oh, women want companionship, men want sex. Yeah, sex is a factor, and we want it. We want it, and that does play a role. But a lot of it genuinely is companionship. Like this is what we pine for. This is what we aim for, and a lot of this is it's in a realm. It's not seen much anymore. You don't, at least outside of stuff like anime or Toujinshi, you don't see much of this anymore in genuine context in other media. This is just getting out what we want, what we imagine, what we dream of having. We constantly think of just like, man, I hope I find someone. I hope I want someone like that. And it hurts. It hurts. It hurts so bad, but it hurts so good. And it motivates us to write stuff like this. It really does. And it's nice. I've considered, like, I attempted to write something like this before, where it's just everything is perfect. You're at a friend's party, you drive there, you're feeling down, and the party's for your friend, but a lot of it is is that friend cheering you up. You go to the balcony, you meet this like really nice girl, and then you just start talking for the rest of the night, and that's a nice fantasy to have. That's something I've tried to write down. Something to help manage my lack of IRL contact, of IRL friendship, because I haven't had it in a long time being a NEET. And that's something I like aiming for. It's something that it's It fulfills a lot. It really does fulfill a lot of emotions where you can just sit back, imagine it, and take it in. And that's part of why GFE is so popular because of this state of loneliness that there's like it inspires us to write it for ourselves, inspires us to think of scenarios for ourselves where of beautiful times when like we could just find someone. I'm sorry if I'm like not articulating that as well as I could imagine, but that's basically how that's the thought process. Let's see another one. Yeah, anyone gets female friend. This is similar,
16.
I
Have
think.
no femme friends. Get a D&D group with 3 friends.
I have a lot of I have dreams of meeting like GF at a D&D group, and that's part of why I want to like when I go back to college, hopefully this year, I want to get into a D&D group or like a nerd or even a creative writing group where I could interact with people and like hoping I could find someone who shares my interest through there.
2 new ones. Both girls. Joke around with one. Chat that evening. She's 100% ironic. I get none of it. She thought I was ironic too. God, that was hilarious. Fast forward some time. Be friends for 3 months. Literally bit her bare tit.
Oh, okay, 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 buddy. That didn't. I'm not sure that happened, but okay.
A few times. She's okay with that.
I'm not. I, have I met have I met women like this in real life? Absolutely, 100% fucking not. But man, I wish.
Dang it, she makes me feel special. Give her all the attention I can. Make her drawings and shit. She said multiple times she really appreciates it. She changed me so much. Can't possibly think of a way to repay that. Her smile is the thing I strive for.
Man, this is just getting sad. I'm sad now.
Every day. Been thinking about telling her for a month now. Bros, I think I got this.
Well, if it is real, Godspeed.
This Saturday,
I'll tell her.
I'll tell her I love her. Wish me luck.
Again. Oh man, this like it. So many like I she let me bite her boobs. That part makes me feel like this wasn't real, but this it did hit. Like the rest of it did. It's landing punches. This shit got hands. This shit got hands. And hold on. Oh, what is that? Ellen's autism.
Good vibe stories we live.
Oh, hold on. This is different. This is long. This is 2 minutes. Let me. I haven't read this one.
In this thread, we
I haven't
tell good
listened to this
vibe
one.
stories we lived. I'll start. Beamy in 2012. First year of high school, bunch of new classmates. This new girl in class is really beautiful. Small Asian girl with incredible smile.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Instant crush. Decided it was a good time to
It's
start
always the
talking
puppy love
properly
that
to
gets
people.
you. It's
Go
when
to
you
girl
start thinking.
and start pulling subjects, being friendly, very light, and actually looking interested in what she says. A few days pass and we talk every day. She is a great friend and a great counselor.
This is supposed to be like a fiction, romance fiction from a male perspective, but something I've always felt in real life is that cold starts don't work. Even if like even as someone who has crushed on a great many girls and seen them and considered, man, I wish I could talk to them. Unless she shares your interests, a lot of the time it's not gonna work. It's just not it's not gonna be like that. And for cold starts like that, it's rare on my end. It doesn't really work. Everything turns out a bit awkward, and even like most of the time when I have asked out girls and it comes through being their friend for several months, getting interested and then finally confessing. Of course, the last time it happened, it didn't work, and I screwed that one up really bad. I feel I still have a lot of leftover emotions from that one, but it's mostly faded by now, and part of the reason why I want to head back into college by sometime by autumn, by this coming autumn, is To see that, see people like that make connections, socialize, even though I'm very extremely bad at socialization and probably like and shit at holding a conversation.
Find out she likes action movies and loves playing Guitar Hero. Hey, I love those things too. Tell her she can come over any day and we can play
I
Guitar
need some more
Hero on my
water.
PS3. As the year goes by, she eventually goes home with me. We have fun all day. She can make anime voices.
That didn't happen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. That's cool. That didn't happen.
We were basically Guitar Hero gods by then. She is also good at Call of Duty.
I,
Also
it,
loves Dungeons and Dragons. I'm definitely in love 2014. Finally get the balls to tell her my feelings. She turns red as a tomato. Oh Anon, this is the same as I feel toward you.
man, we wish.
Fuck. Yeah. .mp3.
Stupid AI voice.
Best day of my life by then.
TTS.
We grow together. Get fit and study more. Love her very much and we have all of the best moments you can think of 2020.
Yeah, this is it's too vague. It's too like again. I have my doubts over the story being real. No,
21
it
January
didn't
1st.
happen. It didn't happen.
I kiss her on the last moments of the corona year. Put hand in my pocket to pull out a wedding ring. Kneel down and ask her to marry me in front of our closest friends. I asked you first. We all laugh. Wedding is on June. My face when I was just a fat acne-ridden loser nerd with no friends. My face when I'm getting married to the girl of my dreams. My face.
I wish we could, Anons. I wish we could. I really do. Oh man.
When you can do it to a nonce.
Oh, excuse me. Um. Yeah, dates and marriage. Yeah, Anon forgets to tell the part where she wakes up from the dream and starts crying. Yeah, it's wedding in wedding is in June. This one's funny. Hold on, this one's funny because I've
High-quality ingredients,
oh
no
ad.
harmful pesticides.
Shut up.
Stonyfield
Shut up.
Organic,
Come
good
on. Come on.
purpose.
Come on.
Go
All
out
right.
with 7 out of 10. We already had sex. But we
This part's believable because because of the way this was written, the way I
stop talking for a time. Go to see a movie. Joke with her that the next date is on her. What? I never pay. The men always pay for me. Autismo mode engaged. How much do you have? Like $20? Why? Give them to me. I'll pay the gas with that.
I
She
got
is
gas today.
scandalized.
I hate
But on
gas
the
prices.
station, she pays for the gas. The change is like $4 because the tank was almost full. I'm gonna need those $4 too. She's
If 20 pay the gas with that. That was oh my gosh. Oh man. This is supposed to be the romance stream. But I went to fill up gas today and I hate the gas prices, man. I would go to war. I would go to war for oil. I wish America did go to war for oil. I say as I look at the American flag on my desk. I wish we did go to war for oil because this is getting unsustainable, man. I sunk my my debit card today because of that gas purchase, and I had to make food at home instead of getting gas station food. And that's man, whatever.
mad, but she hands out the money. Still hangs out with me because she likes me.
Propo,
One of her
pro.
friends is going clubbing not
Clubbing.
too far. Makes an offhanded comment about being stuck with me. Yeah? Where's your friend? I'll drop you off with her. I have stuff to do. Drop her. She goes for a goodbye kiss. I stare at her and say bye, and ride off. Go with the boys to drink beers and laugh about it. Texts me the next day and calls me cheap. Venmo her $50 with a dick pic. Still talks to me. I'm gonna be honest.
This is just it's too believable. It's too believable that this would have
Not sure
happened.
how I'm still
It's
getting my
it's
dick
not written in the context of yeah, something only disclaimer only works if you're handsome to her. The difference between the behavior of a girl thirsty for you and disgusted by you is like night and day. Dude must look 10 out of 10 to pull this nonsense and still win. He has inexplicable riz, but is completely oblivious to it. Seems legit. Yeah, that works. Because he's in a mental asylum. The key to make a girl really obsessed over you is to spike all of her different emotions and none did it completely correct. I think Dizzy covered this where if you want to put in less effort in a relationship, just like start bouncing how much the amount of attention you give her or something like that. That feels evil and I don't like that, but I'm not gonna. Why is Ted Kaczynski? Why is Ted Kaczynski on my screen? Hi, Lumi. And I haven't seen this one.
Super hydration body wash with 24/7 moisturization and vitamin.
Come on, come on.
I met someone, bros. She's 22. I'm 27. A virgin. Sweet as locks herself away making art, watching anime, and playing video games.
All right, still semi-believable. I mean, I've met girls who do this in real life.
Inspirational. She got me into art, but I suck at hates going outside because she feels people are too mean. Wants me to be soft and warm, and not so cold around her. Wears hoodies all day with her hair up.
It works. Again, it works.
Really cute face, blue eyes, but she's a little chubby. She goes to the gym, but I don't care that she's chubby.
Man. Man. Yeah, that's the line. I basically found the girl that we talk about,
Basically
bros.
found the girl we talk about, bros. Despite her being chubby,
Oh, bro, shut up. Uh, uh, I'm not fit. I am not as fit as I want to be. I look good in the mornings. I don't look good when I after I have a meal.
we're all gonna make it. I just had to tell my bros. 7 years on this board, and now I finally found a wholesome girl that's sweet and caring.
Man, we all wish. We all wish. We all wish this was real. We all wish he wasn't stupid about it. We all wish. And that I think is probably like all that that's genuinely the key to writing, I guess. You could make a lot if you invested in a good story, in a good you could make it into a movie. You could make it into a legit movie. Like you could make a movie, you could write a book on this sort of thing. And following that, if you can put in the effort, and us guys would buy it. Us guys would buy it because it's good shit. It's good shit. I would smoke a cigarette to this. I don't smoke in real life. I would. This makes it feel good. It really does. It makes you pine. It makes you dream. It makes you imagine. That comes later. And how long have I been streaming? Like around an hour. Around not like 50 minutes, I think. I'm gonna try and keep this going because I am running out a bit out of content. I didn't have a script. I didn't necessarily have a script prepared. See what I have in the. Yeah, that's for later. I'm not looking in there. I haven't checked some of my tags. Oh, there's me. But yeah, this was. I think we covered all there is to cover with this movie, which is me just ranting about like I hated it and I loved it. I hated it and I loved it. I hated it and I loved it. And it was like that. And going back to this is like I had so many gripes. Like a lot of the parts that I hated, which I like I said earlier was like 60 to 70%, led me to think, man, how would I rewrite a story like this from a personal perspective? It's definitely not realistic. It is cope. It shares a lot in common with the stories that I was just covering. And and that came to mind. I was trying to summon more ideas from this. I wasn't going to start from it, but like this movie inspired me to make, well, a movie pitch. And this was what it was. So how am I gonna start this? Hold on. My mouth is getting very dry. I should not have eaten cornbread for for lunch. I have these cornbread chips and my mouth is really dry. So yeah. And so hold on, how do I go from here? I need a second. Give me a second, y'all. So yeah, I was posting something somewhere. But yeah, I had so many gripes about this, and this whole story was about like besides all the whole sex funny, haha, she's a hag, Stacy, he's a neat virgin, they fuck. Besides all that, this was about a car, and part of that got into me in mind. And what if I focused on elements of that? So general general idea is a washed-up hag trying to leave the West Coast, specifically Everett, Washington, in her late father's 1977 Mercury Cougar, and she picks up a depressed young hitchhiker who's just dropped out of college, broke, and realizing nothing he could learn is his passion. Of course, a lot of plot contrivances would have to go into this. A lot of very heavy plot contrivances would have to go into a situation like this where it like why is she leaving, why is she selling her house, why is she why does she have a car in 90, and why I focus on this car specifically is because this is going a bit off the rails. Hey, romance doesn't have to be between a man and a woman, it could be in between a man and a car too. The reason why, like, because I really like the malaise era of American cars, of stuff like this. The Mercury Cougar was in a James Bond movie, it was in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, driven by the Bond girl appropriately. But this is like you'd see this on pimp mobiles and stuff like that. And I think this like it's ugly and pretty at the same time. This cars like this, and it really would illustrate like the idea of this female lead is like when I say washed up hag, I mean that as like in jest. Like yeah, she's like in her like 35, like 35 or so, 35 to 37, not much going on. She's single and all that. And what comes to mind, at least for older movies, for ideas of older movies or older media, should be driving something like this. It'd be busted up. It wouldn't be in as good a condition. Something like this. And the joke is in the name. She's a cougar. Like it's a cougar. It's the car is called the Cougar, and she's a cougar, and all that. And I had something. It was a little detail that I liked. I like cars like this, and I think, yeah, this could be this could be a viable setting for a modern day romance movie. And and like, I joke about that, but elements of that would be like it would be a road trip. It would be a road movie. She's driving all the way across the country. She's driving to Florida. She's moving to Florida to get a job to sell the car because she's out of options. She doesn't really have a job and stuff is going, and she wants to leave the West Coast for whatever reason. She wants to leave the West Coast. It's not good for her anymore. And as much as and she as much as she has to sell the car because she's like should be driving it to a classic car collector, this female lead, she doesn't want to part ways with it because she can like it's the last memory of her dad, it's the last memory of her parents. Her like likely like her mom had either moved out or already died, and like this is her last memory of them. And she picks up a literally me. She picks up a depressed young hitchhiker. He dropped out of college. I think that's a common like theme right now. Like either like a common like easy way to get a guy's attention for a relatable male lead would be like a college dropout, or in some cases a NEET, in some cases like a recently discharged military guy who doesn't want to go back, who doesn't want to go in the military anymore, and he just wants to like, and he doesn't have many prospects, and that's ripe. You can build a lot of character from this, and like that works better. And this is about a car, but and and I do like, because, and part of the reason why I chose specifically the 1977 is because it's a bench seat. It's a bench seat. There's options. There's an option because, and for film, and for, I guess, filming, quotation marks around filming certain scenes, it would be very necessary to have a bench seat instead of bucket seats. And as I imagine constantly, like, they're there, he's there, she's there. Like, I mean, she's there, he's there, she's driving. And dude, like, they initially, like, they don't really like each other, barely. Like, I don't mean hate as in like they really hate each other, but they would have been like kind of like tsunderes, like mutual tsundere, where they really don't appreciate each other as much as they want. Initially he's just asking for a ride out, like, I want to get out of here. I don't have a car. I don't have enough money to pay for a plane ticket. I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. And she just picks it up because she just picks him up because she doesn't know what the hell to do. She, like, she picks him up. Yeah, that honestly would be like an interesting meet cute. She picks him up because she feels the need to rant about something to him. She wants to confide in someone. She just like she decides, hey, like, I might not be getting money out of this, but at least I'll have someone to talk to. And they go, and like, he promises like he's gonna try and aim for, like, I don't know. He has barely, like, at least he some justification. Okay, if he had money, he could have bought a plane ticket. But either that, or he just wants to save his money on his like, he could have bought a plane ticket to somewhere else. I'm not sure exactly where this male lead, where this depressed young hitchhiker, where he would be going necessarily. Why he would be tagging along with him, other than why the hell not? And like, I'm out of options, because he'd had like, at the initial agreement would probably, like, he gets to pay for he pays for food, he stay like, and like, they don't have to go to hotels because they have the car, that, like, even though they have, well, it is a coupe, and the back seat, this would be filled with stuff. This would be like filled with their suitcases. This would be filled with, like, same with the trunk, probably a lot of stuff bolted on, because it's an old car. It's an old car. Yeah, see, like, imagine like a guy and a girl just sitting there, just they're just talking, and like the male lead would be probably in his mid 20s, like 20, like 25, 27, around a decade younger than her. And a lot of the elements that I would want them to play off of each other is like, I covered it here. General cultural personal differences. That's something that I feel like did like, again, I have gripes about like their portrayal of Zoomers in No Hard Feelings, but I think they had it, and they had to start with something. They just took it in the wrong way. Like, because he could have been like a Zoomer, she could have been, she's a millennial, and or something along those lines. There's a big generational gap, like a literal decade between them, and they don't quite understand each other. Like she knows basically just enough to barely understand what's going on in the world, and I think this reflects that because it's about older ideas of romance. It's about older ideas of how things are, like how things would have been back then, and it's a part of why I chose this car is it, it would enhance the story. And so something that came to mind is they would this would have been their destiny. Like this would have been their ideal route that these characters would have taken. She would have come from Everett. I didn't want to place her in like directly in Seattle because that feels generic. That feels like, oh, she comes from a big city. She wouldn't have been a big city person. She would have come from a smaller town, even if Everett is pretty big. Hold on, let me refresh this. I considered leaning into like one of the more some of the more comedy elements, like, oh, maybe it's like Smokey and the Bandit, where like they steal something and like the cops are chasing them. No, I didn't want to play into that. I wanted to play into like the more straightforward, introspective. The comedy would come from various situations that they would encounter, how they would react to it, how they would play off each other, and surviving like certain hardships together, surviving certain bad things that would happen to them together. And it's this route specifically. Hold on. Hold on. Let's keep playing this because I need a BGM. And part of what I emphasize is like besides it being a romance focus, it would be a road movie. It would be about the open road, about like and about the car, about there isn't there isn't really anything like they could have flown, they could have taken the train, but they decided to drive instead. And that's something people do in real life, and I feel like that's probably the most plausible thing about this. This is they just drive, they drive across the country, and it's besides being a romance, it's a tribute to this flyover country or drive over country that no one ever really sees. No one ever really sees. Um, and this is their adventures. They visit all the major cities, all the landmarks: Kansas City, Salt Lake City. They drop by Boise. They drop by, and an idea that came to mind is they would come by here, which is like the Native American casino in Oregon. They would get rich, like they would get rich there, and then like spend all their money on stupid shit, and then they would splurge out, and they would. Yeah, it's right here. This is why I chose this route because the casino's like around here. Yeah, Wild Horse. This would be an interesting route. They would stop here. There'd be a bit where they gamble. They have disagreements on how they gamble. They probably get. I took a book out. I took a page out of like Fallout New Vegas. They would get kicked out. And like go back to like something like that where they just indulge and were there. And another situation I imagined was like they stop at a national park or something along these ways, or like either that or they just yeah something like this. They could have like stopped around here because it turns into a road trip movie, and it's just them playing off each other. If I included like a third wheel or a third person, it wouldn't really hit as hard. The romance elements wouldn't be as strong, and I wanted to play into that really much, a lot. And they go across the Midwest, and you get a lot of good shots of them in the car. Maybe they'd stop at some place. Maybe they'd stop to eat. Maybe they just stop on the side of the road. Maybe they'd get desperate and do the redneck thing and cook roadkill. I don't know. But it's just them living through this experience, Maybe they enter Kansas City. They go stock up on stuff. Maybe they stay over and like at a bed and breakfast, or somehow they have like by some there's a lot of plot contrivances. Somehow they have enough money to make the whole trip. And I picked Florida, specifically Islamorada, for like this would be a long movie considering it's across the entire country, but it is in real life 50 hours, maybe 3 hour movie. I don't know, because I've been here in Islamorada and it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. Like this would be an amazing. I've been in both the like my family went on vacation to the Pacific Northwest. We went to Seattle. The city was shit, but the Pacific Northwest is beautiful. But contrasting like this corner of the U.S. to this corner of the U.S. and like this would be like their first time seeing Florida, because I live in Florida in real life. This would be their first time seeing the Florida Keys. This would be like, and it'd be a good. They go through this. This would be like Miami would be like ideal because their destination would have been Key Largo. Would have been Key Largo, and I think I've briefly been here. And like in Hollywood, like this area would be there. Of course, like stuff happens, like either they lose the car but they stay together, or they decide to somehow for something like keep the car. And I don't know, the car plays into elements of this ending. Because like the original plan was for like the female lead to sell the car. Hmm. This route, I'd imagine, because I've been to this part of like briefly to this part of Florida. I've been to like briefly to parts of here, and as much as I like think it's beautiful, I think like the more plausible route would be this long like South Florida, about this like whole line about. Hold on. I don't, no, don't get carried away. Don't get don't get distracted. This isn't a vacation plan. This is just you spurting about like a romance story. But like they would go along the coast. They would enjoy the coast together. They would end up in Miami, and then they would drive up all the way there. That's the ending. And like they drop all these like all these landmarks of places like Kansas City, St. Louis. Nashville would be an interesting place for like them, because I'd imagine music to play a little, like not a little but like a lot into this trip, a lot into their story. Because one thing I also did like from this movie was um like their performance of Maneater, and it's contrived, but it's a good song, and it got me thinking, if Long Cool Woman would have been the title of this, and it wouldn't necessarily, maybe it would play, maybe Long Cool Woman. And a cougar would also make a good name for a title, because it's about a cougar picking up this young man, and the car is called a cougar. It's called the Mercury Cougar. And I like how that would play out into each other. And yeah, it should be cougar. Hold on. And I something that came to mind, if you were there on the Face Connect Discord, if you were like there to witness my antics, if you know who I am, I bring up a lot. Like if you know me from the Face Connect Discord and you know me from there, um, you'll notice that I was like spurging out about Kirsha. But it's because I imagine this female lead theoretical in this theoretical love story to be Kirsha because I thought she would make a really good template for someone who would drive a 1977 Mercury Cougar. I really think um I, I really think Kirsha would be a good template for would be a good template for like as like in regular clothes and driving this. I don't know what I'm going on. I and that got me slightly parasocial for Kirsha because I think, oh, she's just like the woman in my stories. It'd be perfect. But yeah, and something I talk about because this is technically a sex comedy, and and like I said before, in a lot of like in an ideal like male focused romantic story, sex would play an element. Sex like besides like the 4chan wholesome stuff that I read, sex would be an element and like it would evolve over time of like the way that like they interact with each other romantically, sexually, erotically, and it's like the first time they decide to indulge in each other, it's like it's a hate fuck. They don't like each other. They like and they decide like just like to get rid of their pent up feelings or something, and they do that, and then they realize like an awakening leads to a lasting attachment. They realize, oh my gosh, I think I really like this person. I'm gonna stay with them for the rest of the ride because I will never forget them. I don't want to forget about them. I want to see the end of the line. And like that's where like the positivity starts. The positivity ups and ups as they drive through. They drive through. There's gonna be conflict anyway. They're gonna start arguing. Like the brief like the brief lovey-dovey period will be over, and like they're not as interested anymore, but then something else will happen that reawakens them. Maybe in a national park they decide let's be together for a little bit. Let's stay together, and then it keeps going. They indulge in a bit more. They drive through Atlanta. They see all this, and like the way they act towards each other and feel towards each other would evolve and change. It's character development. It's ripe for character development. It's sex doesn't just sell. It promotes character development in the story, and it would provide a meaning. There would be a meaning behind all the sex scenes. It would. There would be something. There is a meaningful conclusion to the hag sex. There's a meaningful conclusion to the hag sex. I don't know. I'm just freaking out here. Uh, um, my mouth is hurting, but I want to keep going because this is really good. They go through here. They see Salt Lake City. They go to the Great Salt Lake. Elements of like ah. And it's the ideal road movie, and the reason why I picked the interior I picked that bench seat instead of the bucket seats is because they would be lying there and having and having sag hex. They would be having a sag hex on the bench seat, and it would be really hot, and then like a cop would pull them over. And like because it's like the Midwest out in the country, it's like this old woman cop with her like older guy partner, like not like romantic partner, just like a cop partner. They see this, they pull him over like on the side of the road. They ask if they're okay. You know, they get like investigated by an old lady cop around like I don't know, and like one of the some part of the Midwest, and they just and she sees the car like she sees the car like, what's going on? I haven't like, why is this car random like old ass car stopped on the side of the road? And they go inside, and she sees the she sees the sag hack, she sees the sags, and she's like, oh man, I miss my husband. My husband used to do that to me in this car. And then she has like this moment of nostalgia when she lets them go, and it's like all awkward and funny. There's a shot of like the lady cop driving off and being like, man, the 70s and the 80s were like, man, those were good times. Those were good times for to be young. And I don't know what I'm saying, but that's what was coming to mind, and that was like ripe for an idea. It's awkward, but it's funny, and then they keep driving, and they keep driving. They sleep in the car. They do all this stuff in the car. They go camping. They go camping. There's a park. There's like mountains here. They would do that. Again, this would be contrived by the amount of money they would somehow have. I don't know how, but they would have it, and it would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice. It's just romance through a road trip movie in this beautiful 1977 Mercury Cougar with Kirsha, with like, I'm not parasocial, I swear. It's just she would make a really good template for this idea like romantic partner character for the female lead. It would make a lot of sense. It really would. Is the male lead literally me? Maybe. I would be embarrassed if it was. I would be really embarrassed if it was. But I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe it should be Sergeant. It should be Sergeant. Let's look him up. That's really. That's for. Booking a Filipino boy and a 34-year-old librarian enjoying their unlikely friendship. Yeah, it's Hag Sex. Philly and Louie. Don. Ignore that. It's hold on, where is that? I can't find him. I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna find him real quick. On Twitter. He would make for an interesting protagonist that wasn't just literally me doing doing the sag hacks, doing the hag sex. Come on, I'm trying to find it. Hold on, I'm trying to find him. I'm trying to find Sergeant. He's cool. He's an asshole. He's a really big asshole, but he's really funny on the Face Discord. I want to find him. I'm using my phone right now. I haven't checked chat in a bit. Oh, there hasn't been any. Thanks, Perfect Idiot, for joining in. That was the most chat I've gotten in a stream. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Oh. Yeah, like imagine if he was the imagine if he was the guy. If he was the guy. Imagine if he was the guy, the depressed young hitchhiker, even if he is like a wizard already. I don't know why he came to mind, but that was it. But like, especially because she was making a lot of Kirsha AI art earlier that I really liked, that I was like absolutely in love with. That helped fuel this. That helped fuel this like cycle of Menhera that led to this stream, because I kept imagining Kirsha as this beautiful hag that picks in this the beautiful cougar in the cougar that picks up this guy and then drives from Washington State all the way to Florida. And speaking of like a lot of this, like they go to like Denver Airport and they like notice that it does look like a swath. It does look like an evil Nazi symbol, and then talk about the conspiracies about it, and then visit all these places. How does this intersect any national parks? I'm not sure. The land between, yeah. Hold on. Land between the lakes, national recreational area. Like, yeah, they'd stop by like here or something. They'd switch routes. They'd like stop by there or something like that. They'd go on. Oh, that. Oh wow, that road goes straight through the military base, through the Arnold AFB. I'm trying to find if there's any interesting. Oh, Chattanooga. They would go to Chattanooga. That I don't know why it's famous. I can't remember why, but it'd be interesting. It would be like because part like one of the titles that I thought of was Americana, or like American Woman, that kind of thing. But then they were like, because but these were already taken by very recent movies. So Cougar would be an interesting, like I like Cougar for a movie, and it would be funny. I'm trying to find if like, it would be like this whole road trip between the Hot Hag and then Battle Creek. That's interesting. I thought I was thinking of somewhere else in Michigan that I haven't actually been to, called, I think, Battle Creek. They go to a gun range, and then like it would be commentary, like maybe they'd have guns, but the interesting part is like they have guns, but they like representing the idyllic life of like American recreation. They never actually hurt anyone. They never actually have to draw the gun because it's just there for fun. The gun is there for fun, and like a subversion of Chekhov's gun. Yeah, something like that. Just because have guns, they never use them. Like they never like get met. Well, just because they have it doesn't mean like. And maybe there would be like some funny stuff going, like a funny commentary going on. Why does she have cowboy guns? Why does he have like military style guns? And like she asks him, "Are you weird like that?" And he says no. And she's like, "Oh, okay, that doesn't matter. I guess I'm fine with that." And they go and they do stuff. That was like an element that there's Costco. They go to Costco. They get a $1 hot dog. They get like a $1.3 hot dog, and it's really good because she has her parents' old like Costco membership card or something, or she used to have one, and they go and get the hot dogs, and they talk about the glizzy, they talk about the state of life in America. It's like a lot of it is like commentary on the state of like an idyllic, like a critical but like idyllic commentary on the state of like life in America. And it would be very how do I say this? Because they wanted to reflect parts of that. America, like, something like that. Yeah, like, getting dollar hot dogs from Costco to keep them going. And they would constantly, like, they'd have to keep getting out of the car to stretch, and that's when they pull over to national parks or just stuff at the side of the road, stuff at the side of the road, and oh, I don't know why that's there. And they keep going, they keep going. They'd visit Native American reservations and play at the casinos and stuff like that. And they'd be like, and maybe some days they'd lose money, sometimes they'd gain back their money. And 50 hours plus all the time in between. It's enough, like, and my biggest fear about, like, besides, of course, this is just me spitballing, pitching a movie called Cougar, is, like, it might take too long, because it's literally about them going from one end of the country to another, and visiting all these places. Maybe it could be a book. It could be a book that becomes a movie. I could write that, even though, like, I have issues with finishing stories. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a Native American reservation. That's the borderline. They go to the casino. They do stuff like that. And to do all this, and, like, it being an old car, the Cougar, the 1977 Cougar being a really old car would help it stand out a lot from, and you'd be able to identify the protagonist easy on long establishing shots, on long aim shots of that just them on the road, especially crowded with other cars. You'd be able to spot out this big old land yacht, and that'd be them. Harrisburg, Nashville. Looking too much on this side. To be fair, there's not. This could be an interesting, like, place for them to stop off at. What is it? Medicine Bow National Forest. Oh, that's snow. Actually, no, that's nowhere close to the. That's not close to the. That's not close to the actual highway. I don't know what I'm looking for here. I'm just trying to spitball and, like, continue access to the ideas. Let's add that. Elements like that. I think we'll keep going. We'll keep going on the stream. But yeah, this was, like, a really convenient thing because the Wild Horse Casino that I looked up is right there, and, like, this would be an explanation of how they got at least some of the money to keep going on the trip. They'd hit it big, and then they'd, like, they'd immediately spend at least half of it on stupid shit. Ontario from Buckingham. I've been to whatever. I'm just reading place names. How did this end up at me looking at Google Maps? 14 days. It's a cycle, huh? That'd take a week, 2 weeks to cycle. That's interesting. Let's up the volume a bit. Because like I know most about like what they do in here, what they might do in. No, they wouldn't go to Daytona. They go to Gainesville. They do. I can't remember. I haven't been to Gainesville in a while, and I can't remember what's there. I think it's Florida State. Whenever my family takes vacations, we always drive all the way up the coast, like kind of up the coast, past Jacksonville, into like we've been to Savannah and Charleston. We haven't been to North Carolina. They go through like they go like they feel the culture generally change, like from the West Coast to the Midwest to the Eastern U.S. to the South, to the Deep South, to like into Florida, and like it all changed, and like they'd all experience that, and it'd be interesting. It'd be cool. It's Kansas City and that's Missouri. Hold on. I can't believe I didn't notice this before. Hold on. What? Why is it glitching out? Is Kansas City in Missouri? Missouri's western edge, straddling the border with Kansas. Oh, that's one. Yeah, Topeka. I know Topeka is is its capital. I was watching Pippa. I was watching Pippa last night doing Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, and it got painful when she didn't know like I didn't know her because when I was a little kid I could recite every state capital, and I still can to this day because that just stuck with me. Cartography and geography is interesting. I don't know. I don't know why I'm talking about it on. Oh, Wind River. That's There's a movie where they go here, and it's interesting, but I haven't seen it. It's cool. But yeah, I was here to talk about romance elements. But yeah, it's a road movie. It really is a road movie. It'd be like a miniature tournament arc where they would like, I don't know, they do cowboy action shooting or something, or they do mountain climbing or whatever, and to get their legs stretched so they don't like stay fat in the car. And I'm imagining all the things they would do together. These two characters. I'm running out of things I'm running out of things to talk about. Oh, that's just all the stuff. That's whatever. I need to pay attention to my tabs. I really do. And since there's an idea. It would have like they'd have like occasional car trouble because the 1977 Cougar's really old. Like they would have some elements of mechanical knowledge, and maybe like she brought him along. Maybe like there's a because like maybe at some point around like they're not even out of Washington yet, and like around here, and their car breaks down and like on the side of the road, and because he has an idea of how to fix it, and because he knows how to fix the car. That would make for an interesting dynamic, and like and sometimes and that would if the car breaks down during an argument, like that would enhance the argument and they would get mad and like they would have to work it out somehow. The car like they would and because like the car they're not working together and some maybe the guy would wander off during an argument and say like you can't fix this car without me and she said fuck you, I'll fix the car when I can anyway, and she has to learn how to fix the car by herself, but she feels bad because they still love each other. Cause yeah, and like they would be nice and I keep covering the same like route. Oh, another random idea just came to me is because this was like, hold on, let me find 1977, like this would be their car. Mercury counterpart of the Ford LTD. Personal luxury coupe, now a counterpart of the Ford Thunderbird, because this was like their 4-door sedan, 2-door coupe, and it would be a coupe. I think it would be a coupe. This was because this was like it was supposed to be somewhat high performance because in their early versions of this car it was a muscle car. So there would be challenges like a bit of it is inspired, not ironically, for a love story. Part of this would be inspired by like admittedly parts of this was inspired by Top Gear or like the Grand Tour of those guys doing those long road trips across America and like the things they would run into. I have to show my dad the latest episode of the Grand Tour. I think I'd like it. But yeah, it's like the dude. What I was going with here is like maybe they would because there's always a joke in the National Lampoon movies in the vacation movies where there's this like hot lady and she sidles up, she drives up to the car and she drives up to this car and like they would elements like they might get into a street race, like they'd get into a road race with some random chick and like with some random thought in a hot car and like they would push this with limits. Maybe they would lose, maybe they would win, but the car would break down and they'd have to fix it again. Let me type that out. My throat is getting sore. Oh yeah, and like why I say they because normally, oh excuse me. they'd switch places, and that would be an interesting. That would be interesting. They would switch places in the car. Yeah, you could talk about how he's driving really old. It would like show like maybe you like maybe he'd have handling issues with with this kind of car, and and it's so old, like it suffered some damage, so like it hampers his driving, but he'd learned to love the car as much as she loves the car, and like it's the car is the third oh, the car itself is the third wheel of this relationship, of the relationship these characters have. Like that is a definitive of cougar. Like you have the female lead, the male lead, and the cougar is the third wheel. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I keep spitballing. I don't know. Help me out, chat. Help me out. Help me out, chat. Come on. Help. I need to come up with ideas. I want y'all to read over this and I don't know what to talk about. What else to talk about? Hold on. You gotta help me, chat. You gotta help me. I don't know. There's the one guy in chat that isn't me reading the chat. Please help me. I need ideas. They're not. It would just be a standalone movie. If I get stuck in like traffic jams, then I have an opportunity to like just rant. They just complain, and it would be funny. They'd complain about what's going on. I might go for another 10 minutes. But I think this was a good stream. I really I like helping. I was just spurging out on stream, and I think that's what I really wanted to do with this PNG tubing thing. I wanted to spurg out on stream, and it's working. It's slowly working. In this wagon, no. This is like two old people kind. This is the kind of this would be something they would drive. The XR7, hold on, because that would be because since it's a classic car collector, XR7, because like that was like the high performance version. This was that was supposed to be like the high performance version, and the car collector they're gonna sell it to wants the high performance version. So elements of that would be like because she knows it's a high performance version, because she knows it's a sport version. She's a bit more like willing to speed, a bit more willing to do that, a bit more willing to like get into random races. What else do I talk about with this kind of story? I feel like I've covered a lot. Oh, that's interesting. The road the road is parallel to the river. in Nebraska. You don't get movies in Nebraska. They're always in big cities. They'd eat steak here or something because I fear they have really good steak, corn-fed beef. They go there. Cause there aren't any movies in Nebraska. There aren't many movies in Missouri, and they would go there. There's movies in Tennessee. There's movies in all these places. There aren't as much movies in Idaho, and they would go to Idaho. There's some movies in Utah. There wouldn't be many movies like in this area, and it'd be a whole tribute to this like forgotten part of America. Oh, your destination is a different time zone. But yeah, just thank you everyone for tuning in. And there's there's no one to raid with. I'm so sorry, but whoever is listening, thank you for watching for this long. For me, for just this like anime Cupid boy ranting about hag sex. And I'm extremely glad my parents haven't come home yet. I might jinx that. I don't know. I hope they get home soon though, because I love my parents. Live traffic, fast, slow, whatever. It would be cool. They would visit all these places. Let's stop at a diner. Oh, that'd be interesting. Let's stop at an old-fashioned diner. Like, not like. Best food that ever tasted. And it's just them, just a story of them in the car, following this road. I think that's a good formula for a movie. That really would be. And something about this route, because in irony, as I say, I guess irony. I don't. While I do say it in the context of a romance movie, it is like, yeah, that it's also a road trip movie. And my dad and my uncle, his older brother, did a similar route in real life, except it was from L.A. to New York City, in and I think it was a Toyota Tacoma or something like that. It was a Toyota pickup truck where it was hauling all of his stuff and moving from LA to New York. And I think that was in the 90s, way before I was born. I think my before my dad met my mom. And they were just driving and driving. They didn't have GPS in the car, so they'd use road maps. Actually, that gives me an idea. When GPS internet fails them. Yeah, because old road maps are like hard to read, and they would like that would happen. And like since she grew up in a time, she'd be more adept, because it's like it's a subversion of like it's a subversion of like, oh, the woman is lost, or like and like, or the guy's asking for directions, a bit of subversion on that. It's more of like but instead of like going to like into like sex and gender, it would be instead of it would be like generational differences, that the older generation knows like who grew up with less might know how to work with less and something like that. But the younger generation appreciates what they have more, appreciates like the tech more. Yeah, something like that. Hmm. Anyway, hold on. Has there been anything? No. Funny national grassland. As I just stared the middle of America. I think of other elements that we could cover. Oh yeah, they would. Well, something that would be interesting is just like them playing a version of Punch Buggy Blues. Maybe they would. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I'm running out of ideas to put in this random road trip romance movie. I'm thinking. Well, I have my cast. It's Sergeant and Kirsha. It's this guy and Kirsha. Uh, Anyways, I think I'll be ending off here, guys. Thank you for again. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. This has been really nice. It's been really nice talking to y'all. This was, oh man, you got to listen to my unfiltered, insane ramblings for close to 2 hours. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone who tuned in. This is Felix Valenti signing off. Otsu love. Gonna wait a little bit more.